Chapter 61 Absolutely Capable Person Plan, The Existence Called Devil. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Denjiki, what? Misaka Sister's Plan. What is this? Misaka Mikoto was a little puzzled. The name seemed to have something to do with her, but she had no impression at all. Ding, the group owner uploaded a memory copy. Ordinary group leader, Sister Pao, you can take a look. Ordinary group leader, I hope there is still time. Son of Nature, although I can understand your urgency, isn't it called the Absolutely Capable Person Project? According to the calculation results of the tree diagram designer, as long as 128 kinds of battlefields are prepared and Misaka Mikoto is killed 128 times, Accelerator can evolve into an absolute capable person. But because there are number 128 Misaka Mikotos, the focus is on mass production on the slim Misaka sister, according to the calculation, as long as 20,000 battlefields and 6 Misaka sisters are prepared, Accelerator can be promoted to LV. It sounds unbelievable, why killing 20,000 Misaka sisters can level up, the so-called growth direction of control skills. The fact that Accelerator's skills have been improved in these 20,000 battles is not very reliable, after all. To him, Sister Misaka can't even resist, so how can such an easy kill improve his skills? In fact, this plan is not really intended to promote Accelerator, it is to cover up Alistair's plan. Ordinary group leader, oh, don't think about it so much, it's pretty much the same anyway. Ordinary group leader, it's a pity that the travel function is not enabled now, otherwise we can help Sister Pao. It is also her dream to save Sister Misaka. As for Fong Accelerator, she didn't like to complain about it. After all, he didn't want to kill Misaka's sister, and he even kept asking the researcher if it was really okay. No problem. As a result, the first sister executed the order and shot him, because the counterattack vector set by Accelerator rebounded to death. This is the first sister he killed. He was also shocked at the time, and he didn't recover from it for a long time. According to the thinking of any era, you are going to kill him, and it is normal for him to kill you. Even though Misaka sisters have their own emotions, because of the order, they have to obey the order like a robot. Even if Accelerator didn't want to kill him at the beginning, he could only imply that these are not human beings, and if he kills too much, he won't be able to do so. I don't feel it anymore. If Misaka's sister can refuse the order, maybe. As for whether Accelerator was at fault or not, she didn't know what to say. As Toma and the last work said, although this experiment was cruel and caused Accelerator to bear the crime, but if Accelerator did not participate in the experiment, the sisters would not see the light of day again, and they would not be able to experience grief and life. As for those researchers, do you think they were wrong? To them, Misaka sister is data. If the experiment is successful, they won't think it's a mistake to exchange 20,000 Misaka sisters for a LV.6. Different positions have different ways of looking at problems. Su Yunqing shook her head. She only hoped that Sister Pao could solve this problem. It's just a pity that the time travel function of the chat group is not turned on, otherwise they would have been able to help. After all, with Accelerator's strength, Miss Pao is no match. Son of Nature. Child of Nature, do you know what you're talking about? Seeing Su Yunqing's pity, Bai Xuan was stunned and even shocked. Son of Nature, did you eat the angel fruit of a phantom beast and stop thinking of yourself as a human? Son of Nature, Sister Pao's worldview is forbidden by magic. Son of Nature, let's not talk about those demon gods who can add phases and change concepts at will. Even Alistair is not easy to deal with. Ordinary group leader, damn it. I forgot. Ordinary group leader, there is a demon god in the forbidden world. Ordinary group leader, if you go there, you will die if you are found. Su Yunqing remembered Bai Xuan's words, there are demon gods in the forbidden world, those guys who have gone to the extreme on the road of magic. Their strength is not what the current chat group can match. It's okay if you didn't get found, but if you get found, it's definitely game over. Uchiha Dance King, demon god. Worst elf, demon god. Boil Daegu into soup, devil god. Be my son, demon god. Glory of the gods of the north, Wang. Golden flash, it sounds like a very powerful existence, but it can make the group leader and Bai Xuan so afraid. Dongfang invincible, the existence that has a relationship with the gods is not a simple character. The richest man in the lighthouse, really? The richest man in the lighthouse, isn't a certain Thor a Shiba Inu? Nosedigging.jpg. The glory of the North God, I am Thor, the god of thunder, for the glory of the North God, the richest man in the lighthouse, shut up, you are a Shiba Inu. Uchiha Dance King, don't bother with this person and dog, just keep talking. Uchiha Dance King, I really want to know how strong the so-called demon god can be. Be my son, ku la la la, the old man is the same. Ordinary group leader, they are not very strong, they are extremely strong. The kind that are ridiculously strong. Ordinary group leader, in the setting, the demon god is a special kind of magician who has completely stepped into the realm of the gods. They have mastered all the knowledge on the magic side, and under the effect of special rituals, they have elevated themselves to the level of gods. Field. Ordinary group leader, perfect demon gods have infinite power and can subvert all laws. The world is about to break for them. Son of nature, life must die, apples must fall from top to bottom, 1 + 1 = 2. These laws that will never change in the world can be destroyed, reorganized and created with the magic recorded in the magic book. Son of nature, so that 1 + 1 will become 3, apples will fall from bottom to top, and dead lives will surely be resurrected. Son of nature, of course, this is the case in the world of Sister Pao, because in the world view of Moban, the world is overlapped by many religious phases. These phases are like a filter membrane, covering the world layer by layer. Superior. Son of nature, those demon gods can change the world at will by creating phases. Son of nature, so, even if we can travel through, we cannot freely go to the forbidden world at present. If a magician is born to fulfill a wish, then a demon god is in existence after the wish is fulfilled. If one's wishes have been fully fulfilled, what awaits them? Demon gods yearn for the unknown, and they yearn for infinity. If they were told about the existence of the chat group and the unknown world of various power systems in the heavens and the world, then they would rather pay all the price to join in. End of this chapter. Chapter 62. The group owner who dares not speak like this in novels, has been banned again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gold Flash. Uchiha Dance King. Boil daegu into soup, are you sure you're not describing God? This is almost indistinguishable from God, right? Boil daegu into soup, even Dija's power is far behind. The richest man in the lighthouse, you really give yourself money. Where does the confidence come from? Compare Tiga with the demon god Dongfang Bubi, is this a god? Although I have never seen its terrifying power, just describing it is enough to make people feel awe. She thought that the power displayed by Uchiha Madara and Whitebeard in the memory copy was terrifying enough, and that the power of Deiko after becoming Tiga was even more like a god. As a result, it didn't take long before a chat group appeared with a demon god world of existence. Uchiha Dance King should be able to catch up. Even Uchiha Madara, who has always been confident, lost his confidence after hearing the group leader and Bai Xuan's description of the demon god. The things they describe are definitely transformed by humans. Even if you brag, you can't blow it out. Whitebeard also remained silent. The other party was the power enough to destroy the world. Moreover, it was as easy as eating and drinking. The most evil elf. I thought the original elves were strong enough, but I didn't expect that there will always be some terrifying existences that ordinary people can't understand. Ganwumiai, novel dares to brag like this. Son of nature, it really dares. If you really want to blow it, you can blow it even more outrageously than this, son of nature, but relying on the chat group, it should be possible to become or even surpass the demon god in the future. Ordinary group owner, forget it, I might have believed it before joining the group, but now I don't believe it at all. Ordinary group leader, I don't even think it can guarantee that we will not be discovered by the demon god even if it has the time travel function enabled. Maybe we will be arrested as soon as we enter. Ordinary group owner, this is a broken chat group, it's worth it. Ding, an unknown error was detected in the chat group, and the group owner was automatically banned for 1 hour. The richest man in the lighthouse. Ganwumiai Xiaobu. Ganwumiai Xiaobu, can the group leader still be silenced? Xiaobu was shocked, this is different from modern chat groups. That's it, meow, just get used to it, meow. The worst elf, not once or twice. Boil daegu into soup, friendly reminder, you can hate anyone, don't hate chat groups. Boil daegu into soup, I feel that the group leader doesn't even have the ability to silence. Electric shocker, is this memory copy, real? Denjiki, they used my genes to clone so many Misaka sisters, and then they killed them for people. Electric shocker, and why can you become LV.6 by killing, Misaka sisters? What is the reason for this? This kind of thing is unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. In the eyes of those scientific researchers, Sister Misaka is just a bunch of data, no different from machines, but in the memory copy, they all have their own emotions, and they admire themselves very much. They are no different from real humans. However, such a group of people were created with the purpose of death, to die at the hands of the same man in a variety of ways. She had no enmity with Fong Accelerator before. Now, there is. No matter what the reason, no matter what the difficulties, even though those Misaka sisters were created because of this plan, if it was because of this plan, their birth would be a complete tragedy. No matter what, she must prevent such an experiment from happening. Anyway. Sister, your face is very ugly. Did something happen? Shirai Kuriko, who saw Misaka Mikoto wanting to hug her and stick to her sister as usual, noticed Misaka Mikoto's gloomy face. Although I don't know who made my sister so angry, but if you dare to make your sister angry, no matter who you are, you will die. Shirai Kuriko, said it. Hearing Heizi's concern, Misaka Mikoto forced a smile, and wanted to say that she was fine, but thinking of the scenes of Misaka's sister's death in her mind, she couldn't say that. Can you do me a favor, Heizi? Looking at Kuriko Shirai, Misaka Mikoto took a deep breath and asked. Of course, no matter what my sister wants to do, Heizi will stand by your side unswervingly. Hearing Misaka Mikoto's words, Shirai Kuriko quickly assured her, her heart was full of joy, for her, helping her sister is a very happy thing for her. Thank you, Heizi. A smile appeared on Misaka Mikoto's face, and then gradually became serious. Plan for the absolutely capable person, this time, I will never let it happen to you. Why do you think I need these things? Bai Xuan looked at the pills on the table, and said a little speechlessly. Of course I eat. Why else? Apply to the belly button. Huiyu gave Bai Xuan a supercilious look. You think I want to give it to you, but with your strength, you don't need the assistance of pills. But you don't want it, it doesn't mean we can't give it. After all, the rules are there, even if it is useless to Bai Xuan. What should be given should still be given, and the good ones must be given, the treasures must be given. This is called sincerity, also called attitude. Ginseng, deer antler, tiger blood, Why is there Viagra? Bai Xuan played with the pill in his hand, relying on the ability of natural authority. He could easily know the ingredients in it, but the above can be understood. Why is there Viagra? I don't know, I didn't practice it. I guess it's to make up for the status. Huiyu's eyes widened when she heard those two words, and after thinking about it, she felt nothing. Anyway, she was taking another kind of elixir, which was specially customized for female supernatural beings. Putting this kind of thing in, the medicine refiner is also a talent. His ability should be, refining, condensing various items into elixirs, and also has the ability to synthesize them. Bai Xuan put the pills into the box, and I will give it to Tony depending on the situation. He should need this more. Dad is also fine, after all, he is quite old, even if he is given an extra 20 years of life, it shouldn't be much better in that respect. Daegu also gave him 2. Although Lena and Lena have not started yet, they are still needed later. Refining? Well, we call it alchemy. No matter what it is, he can practice it into a pill. Even the corpses of mutated creatures can be made into pills. Most of the mutated mice were trained into pills by him last time. After using them, they can not only enhance their physique but also their spiritual power, but the smell is a bit smelly. End of this chapter. Chapter 63. You are actually fighting for food with a Shiba Inu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I don't know if this has something to do with him not cleaning the corpse. Huiyu showed a disgusted expression on his face, and then complained. The materials should be cleaned before the next alchemy, and the fur of the mutated beast can't be peeled off, there is no energy in the fur. Could it be that the fur of those mutated mice is useless? Or are there too many bacteria? If there are too many bacteria, it will be impossible to make a pill. Did you eat? Bai Xuan looked at Huiyu strangely. She couldn't be so angry because she ate it herself. That's right, otherwise you wouldn't feel that the medicine pill stinks. Of course I didn't eat it, seeing Bai Xuan's eyes, Huiyu said dodgingly. I'm just suggesting, I suggest you understand. The ingredients must be cleaned when cooking. Although he uses supernatural powers to make alchemy, it can't drive away the dirty. That kind of stinky thing, how dare people eat it? If you say that you haven't eaten like this, no one will believe it. Bai Xuan said speechlessly. I really didn't eat. Huiyu's eyes widened and he said, but he let out another breath in the blink of an eye. I ate the elixir transformed by other beasts, and it stinks too. I wouldn't take it if it didn't work well. Okay, I'll give you the elixir. The effect of each bottle of elixir is different. I have written the corresponding effects on it, you can watch and eat it yourself. If you don't need it, keep it, and then sell it or give it to any friend. After Huiyu finished speaking, she stood up, and now that everything has been dealt with, there should be nothing that needs her to be busy in the near future, and she has to go back to practice. Bai Xuan is simply the king of introversion. Even though his talent is so high, he still practiced so hard, it made it impossible for a person like her, who is inferior in talent and strength to Bai Xuan, to accept the condemnation of her conscience, and went to be lazy. Bai Xuan waved his hand casually, he didn't care about Huiyu's departure, but just looked at the pill in his hand thoughtfully. It can refine mutated organisms, medicines, and medicinal materials into elixir, perfectly retaining their energy and characteristics. It sounds similar to his deprivation, but his deprivation is to extract the energy of the mutated creature and use it to possess the opponent's power, and alchemy is indeed to transform it into an elixir, retaining the medicinal power of various ingredients. The effects blend together perfectly, the focus is not on extraction, but on fusion. Well, good power, it's mine now. While speaking, Bai Xuan's hand emitted a green light, and he took out the corpse of a mutated creature from the space ring, and put his hand on the corpse. Afterwards, the corpse of the huge mutated creature shrank in an instant, transforming into a brown pill. After trying to smell it, Bai Xuan hurriedly put this pill into the space ring. The strong fishy smell was mixed with a bad smell, and it was not the smell of snail powder and stinky tofu, more like it hadn't taken a bath for many days. Heavy body odor, it's no wonder that Huiyu feels disgusted and complains. This food is really not something everyone can eat. Even if you eat it, you will definitely feel sick. Therefore, the cleaning and molting proposed by Huiyu are still very important. If possible, it is best to add some seasoning, and blend it into an elixir according to the cooking ratio, so that the taste should be more acceptable. Suddenly, Bai Xuan seemed to have thought of something, and asked in the chat group, Son of Nature, I have something here, do you want to eat it? Since people can't eat it, what about dogs? Dogs should be fine, right? The richest man in the lighthouse, what? Ordinary group leader, yeah, what? If it's a good thing, you can't just give it to Shiba Inu Thor. Ordinary group leader, I am the favorite of the chat group. Son of Nature. Son of Nature, when did you become the favorite of the crowd? And why did you compete with a dog for the favor of the crowd? Although he knew that Su Yunqing was talking about the pets of everyone in the chat group, but the first thing that popped into his head was pets. Boil daegu into soup, I don't think it will be a good thing. Worst elf, it should have nothing to do with the effect, maybe it has something to do with taste or something. Worst elf, for example, the devil fruit that was bitten last time. Ordinary group owner, could it be that I'm sorry, I thought of something I shouldn't have thought of. Ordinary group leader, it's definitely not shit. Uchiha Dance King. Uchiha Dance King, you are so filthy. Boil daegu into soup, it should be said to be disgusting. Son of Nature, so since you know it's wrong, don't say that word out. Bai Xuan was a little helpless, he didn't know whether to say that the group leader was innocent or stupid. Son of Nature, it's just an elixir condensed from the corpses of mutated creatures. The effect is not bad. You can strengthen your physique or something, but it smells very fishy, so I want to see if Thor likes it. Son of nature, if Thor thinks it's good, I have some on my side, let him forget it. Child of nature, it's useless to me anyway that it's okay to recycle it to the chat group, but it's not worth many points, and before you left, he also said that these pills would be provided every day, so he wouldn't be reluctant. If it doesn't work, can he do it himself? Anyway, there are quite a lot of corpses of his mutated beasts. After eating, you can also use any door to hunt in the mountains. The richest man in the lighthouse, enhance your physique. The richest man in the lighthouse, ahem, I think it's a pity for a dog to eat this thing. If it's just the taste, I don't think it's unacceptable. Compared with the effect, the mere taste is nothing. Glory of the northern god, wow woof. The glory of the northern god, you actually want to compete with a dog for food. The richest man in Beacon, serious face.jpg. The richest man in the lighthouse, to be precise, I am competing with Thor, the son of the god king, for an elixir that is of no use to him. The glory of the northern gods, Shiba Inu shocked.jpg. The glory of the northern god, you now actually recognize my name as Thor. Ordinary group leader, you can afford it and let it go. What a man, Tony. Ordinary group leader, I can't accept it. Uchiha Dance King. Why is this guy so different from Iron Man in the memory copy? Could it be because he was not caught to strike iron? Son of nature, you guys should try it before you talk. Ding, the group member, Son of nature, sent 2 red envelopes. Ding, the group members, the glory of the northern gods, have received your red envelope. Ding, the richest man in the group member Beacon received your red envelope. Point 3 mechanical sounds fell, not long after, the glory of the northern gods, not tasty.jpg. The richest man in the lighthouse, it's so unpalatable.jpg, end of this chapter. Chapter 64. Don't call me Bai Xuan anymore, call me Bai Aotian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ordinary group leader, it's so rare, even one person and one dog think it's not good. Ordinary group leader, or does it mean that Tony has the taste of Shiba Inu Thor, that the richest man in the lighthouse, the stench is too strong, and it tastes like a dead body without any treatment. The richest man in the lighthouse, but the effect is very strong. I feel that my physique has been strengthened a lot, and there is still a warm current surging in my body, which continues to work. The richest man in the lighthouse, this effect is better than the spirit beads. The glory of the northern gods, Shiba Inu doubt.jpg. Glory of the northern god, I just feel a little warm current. Is that an exaggeration? The richest man in the lighthouse, what are you barking at? The richest man in the lighthouse, are you pretending to be compared with me? The richest man in the lighthouse, do you know what it means to be human and stand shoulder to shoulder with gods? The richest man in the lighthouse, my anti-Shiba Inu Thor mecha is almost done, wait until the chat group turns on the time travel function, and see how I beat you to death. I will arrest you and use it as an electric board. Son of nature, sure enough, neither humans nor dogs can accept the taste. Son of nature, then it's better to disable this ability. Anyway, the effect is mediocre. It's better to cook it to make it more delicious. Ordinary group leader, this ability is disabled. Why does it sound like you have many abilities? Ordinary group leader, aren't you only able to use elements and the like? Manipulating trees, communicating with animals and plants, etc. Son of nature, are you sure you're talking about me? Why does it sound like you're describing a druid? Son of nature, my abilities, I can almost control everything that belongs to nature. Child of nature, such as oxygen, elements, chemical elements, technology, etc. Son of nature, alchemy, because it is a human awakening ability, so I can use it. Ordinary group leader. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse, control the chemical elements. The worst elf, can you still control technology? Boil Daegu into soup, what about the nuclear bomb? Can you rub it with your hands? Son of nature, yes. Ordinary group leader, is this the point? The point is the one behind. Ordinary group leader, what is it called? Because it is a human awakening ability, so I can use it. Ordinary group leader, because human beings are also a part of nature, you can control nature, so are they also within the scope. You can also use their awakening ability. That are you sure this is a human? How can this be human? And it's not just nature, you can use all the awakened abilities of everyone. Son of nature, yes. Bai Xuan did not hide his ability. To be honest, he thought he had mentioned his ability in the chat group. Ordinary group leader, if your world is a novel according to our guess, then you are the author's father. Ordinary group leader, how can there be such a cheat? Ordinary group leader, it was originally a golden age of spiritual recovery and global awakening, but the result is that you alone are above everyone else, and they are all your background boards. Ordinary group leader, change your name, don't call it Bai Xuan, just call it Bai Aotian. Even the character called the author's father from scratch is not as outrageous as yours. He just has dozens of protections and the ability to get any protection he wants. Well, this seems to be almost the same. Okay, you are all the author's own father, but I am the author's daughter who doesn't care or love, and it doesn't matter if he is so powerful. He even joined the chat group. Ordinary group owner, if you divide it according to the novel, you belong to a certain Lu, and I belong to a certain cat. Son of nature. Son of nature, standing hands.jpg. Son of nature, I can't do anything about this kind of thing. Ordinary group leader, damn it. Ordinary group leader, I thought that a phantom beast angel fruit would allow me to catch up with you, who is also a time traveler like me, but now it seems that I am still too young. Son of nature, speaking of which, you ate the angel fruit of the phantom beast. How does it taste? Ordinary group leader, huh? Did the topic change so quickly? At least let me say a few more words. Ordinary group owner, in terms of taste, it's like a layer of honey on the surface of bitter gourd, then put it into the base of snail powder and cook it, and then add stinky tofu and durian. It's disgusting. Ordinary group leader, damn it, I forgot it so hard, I remembered it after you said that. Ordinary group leader, vomit. As he spoke, Su Yunqing seemed to think of the taste of the devil fruit again, and felt disgusted in his heart. This kind of thing can be remembered fresh with just one bite, but because I don't know which gossip said that if I only eat one bite of the devil fruit, it may affect the awakening of the fruit, so she dared not leave any of it, and ate it all. After eating, she admired herself. Worst elf, sounds disgusting. Dongfang booby, the taste is really hard to describe. Dongfang Bai recalled that when she ate the shiny fruit, she thought that she had eaten so many things in her life, and there was nothing to describe. She is not the kind of person who is so picky about food. She can eat even ordinary food. Only the devil fruit, after taking a bite, hesitated for a long time before daring to take a second bite, although one bite of devil fruit is effective, but she saw that Luffy in One Piece ate a lot, so she didn't just take one bite and stop eating. Fortunately, the ability of shining fruit is worthy of its taste. In the current arena, even if her master Dugu seeks defeat, she can also win, not to mention the others. While several people were discussing the taste of devil fruit, Whitebeard suddenly said something. Be my son, dark fruit, found by Sarge. Uchiha Dance King, oh, is the plot about to start? Uchiha Dancer, hidden for several years, just for one possibility, ruthless, and scrupulous in order to achieve the goal, but he is considered a hero. In the eyes of Whitebeard, what Tiki did was a betrayal of them, but in the eyes of some people, it also has the qualities of a hero. Kill your companions to get the dark fruit, defeat Ace, hand it over to the Navy, and then the top battle breaks out, and finally get Whitebeard's shaking fruit ability. In the end, he replaced Whitebeard and became the new 4 emperors. If there is no Luffy, he does have the possibility of becoming the One Piece, but the words are such that Uchiha Madara does not agree with Tiki's approach. If it is him, so what if there is no dark fruit? Can't you reach the top of Pirate World on your own? End of this chapter. Chapter 65. Will Whitebeard be soft-hearted and complex-looking Saatchi? You are listening at novelfull.audio. What Garp and Shanks can do, can't he do it? After all, such a guy is just a hero, not a tyrant. Ordinary group leader, that's what I said, but this kind of thing can be done in any pirate group, but it really can't be understood by Dad's pirate group. Ordinary group leader, obviously, the members of the Papa Pirates treat each other as relatives. If Tiki told Saatchi that he wanted the secret fruit, wouldn't Sage give it? Ordinary group leader, maybe he will laugh and give the dark fruit to Tiki, and jokingly say that he must find me a good devil fruit in the future. Ordinary group leader, Tiki didn't even ask, and he didn't hesitate to kill him. He never cared about the family relationship of the Whitebeard pirates, and never even believed Saatchi and the others. Boil Daegu into soup, of course he can ask, but he just doesn't want to make any mistakes. Boil Daegu into soup, in his eyes, the dark fruit is far more important than the family relationship in the Whitebeard pirates. The worst elf, but I have to admit that such a person can go further. To achieve the goal, use all means. Such people are the most terrifying, and their achievements are unimaginable, but in stories, such people often do not end well. The richest man in the lighthouse. I'm even more curious about whether Tiki would really stay in the Whitebeard pirates for the rest of his life if the dark fruit hadn't appeared. The richest man in the lighthouse. In that case, Ace will not be caught, the battle on the top will not exist, and the Whitebeard pirates will exist. Be my son, but unfortunately, there is no if. Be my son, I can't allow a person who kills his companions because of a devil fruit to be my son. The most precious thing in his heart is the family relationship with his son, but Tiki smashed it with his own hands. Whenever he hesitates at all, maybe he can't bear it a little, but no, Tiki probably thought of how to kill Sarge and take the dark fruit the moment he saw the dark fruit, son of nature. However, Dad, you still have to wait, don't you? Son of nature. You won't take the initiative to deal with him until Blackbeard Titch really wants to kill him and make sure he will really kill Sage, won't you? Son of nature. Perhaps part of the reason is that Tiki didn't do anything, and you have no reason to shoot him, but a bigger part of the reason is that you want to give Tiki another chance, don't you? Son of nature. Let's see if he will attack Saatchi because of a devil fruit like a copy of memory. Seeing Bai Xian's message, Whitebeard fell silent. Even if he already believed the content in the memory copy, what if? What if history really changes and Tiki didn't take a shot at Saatchi? He wanted to give Tiki a chance and give himself a chance. Be my son, I have already discussed this action with Sage, and I will also tell him what is on Titch's mind. It would be unfair to him if he kept it from him. Be my son, though he doesn't believe it. Be my son, if Tiki is really like a memory copy, then I will never let him go. Ordinary group leader, will you kill him? Be my son, of course. Son of nature, you will never soften your heart. Be my son, the person who betrayed this feeling, how could this old man be soft-hearted? Although Whitebeard's tone was very firm, but whether he would really be as unrelenting as he said. Bai Xian held a skeptical attitude. Child of nature, image.jpg. Bai Xian posted a picture of Tiki and Whitebeard begging for mercy in the top battle, and then Whitebeard was attacked softly. Son of nature, you thought so at the time, too. Ordinary group leader, slapping a famous scene. The richest man in the lighthouse, great fatherly love. Boil Daegu into soup, although the father is kind, the son is not filial. Uchiha Dance King, it's sad. That's it. Meow, sigh, meow. Be my son. Be my son, I will not make such a mistake this time. One Piece World, it was already night at this time, and the members of the Whitebeard pirates who had finished the banquet all entered the room and fell asleep, and at this moment, a burly figure appeared outside Saki's room. It was Tiki. At this moment, he didn't know that all his actions were being seen by a pair of eyes. There was a little disappointment in Whitebeard's eyes at this time. History is really not that easy to change. Sighing slightly, Whitebeard opened the live broadcast room. This is what they agreed before. If Tiki wants to kill Sage and take the dark fruit, they will broadcast a live broadcast to let them witness a new history. At this time, the cold voice of the chat group came from the ears of all the group members. Ding, it is detected that the group member is my son. Let's start the live broadcast room. Ordinary group leader, sure enough, I knew Tiki couldn't be a good person, otherwise I would doubt whether he is a time traveler. The worst elf, after all, our world exists because of that work. If you don't take the initiative to do things that go against your destiny, everything will happen. Uchiha Dance King, wait until I'm resurrected, Heijue. Heh. Golden flash, betrayal, this kind of thing is really disgusting. Boil daegu into soup, that's the question. Do you think it would be better if Naruto in the memory copy betrayed the village, that the richest man in the lighthouse? Can the situation be the same? This is Tiki's betrayal of Whitebeard, and that is the villagers' betrayal of the fourth generation, that the glory of the northern god. Wow, woof, excited.jpg. It's time to go to bed in some of their worlds, but they don't sleep at this time just to wait for this, except for Whitebeard. None of them felt that Tiki had even the slightest possibility of not killing Saatchi and snatching the dark fruit, otherwise, Tiki would not be that Tiki. Boom. 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 Captain Sage. Are you asleep? Tich's voice sounded outside Saatchi's door. After a while, Saatchi opened the door and looked at Tich with some doubts in his drunkenness. What's wrong, Tich? Ha ha ha, I didn't drink enough just now. Didn't I come to see Captain Saatchi for a drink with you? A simple and honest smile appeared on Tiki's face, and then entered the cabin under Saki's laughter. At this time, Tiki didn't notice the complicated look in Saki's eyes when he entered the door. After picking up a devil fruit, Dad called him into the room and told him about the dark fruit and Tiki. He was incredulous when he heard that Tiki would kill him for the dark fruit, because in his eyes, although Tiki is not strong in the Whitebeard pirates, he is a very reliable and honest crew member. End of this chapter. Chapter 66 Dream Chapter 2 years ago, Whitebeard's terrifying combat power. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 66 Dreaming back to 20 years ago, Whitebeard's terrifying fighting power. Always have respect for them. He would never believe that Tiki would kill himself for a devil fruit. He is a swordsman himself, and devil fruit is not a necessity for him. If Tiki wants to ask, he will not refuse, but the person who said it was the old man, and it was impossible for the old man to lie to him on this point alone. They can all see how much the old man attaches importance to feelings. With a skeptical attitude, he and his companions continued the banquet until the end of the banquet, and when he returned to the room, Tiki actually came in the cabin. Saki and Tiki took the wine and drank. After drinking almost, Tiki seemed to be in a sudden mood, and suddenly asked Saki out of curiosity. Captain Saatchi, I heard that you have seized a devil fruit, can you show it to me? Although Sage was very drunk on the surface, he was always thinking about what his father said in his heart, and he didn't dare to relax in the slightest. But when he heard Tiki change the topic to devil fruit, his heart tightened slightly. This process seems to be exactly the same as what my father said. Will I be attacked next? Thinking of this, Saki pretended not to care and picked up the devil fruit from the side cabinet. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect to be so lucky this time that I got a devil fruit. But I don't know what kind of fruit this is. I'm going to look for it in the illustrated book when the time comes. I hope it is a powerful devil fruit, otherwise I, a swordsman, really have no interest in eating it. Sage smiled, pouring wine into his mouth, and looked at Tiki. At this time, Tichi was already fascinated by the devil fruit in Sage's hand, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became brighter and even more ferocious. Found it, finally found it. Sure enough it is, ha 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 ha. Whispering in his mouth, Tiki looked at Saki without any emotion in his eyes, and took out a sharp dagger from nowhere. I'm sorry, Captain Saatchi, I can't just sit and watch this devil fruit being eaten by others. Saying this, under Saki's gaze, he directly picked up the dagger and stabbed him in the heart, and Saki didn't know whether he was frightened, or he didn't react, and he didn't move at all. However, the loss and sadness in the eyes became more and more obvious, but this has long been ignored by Tiki, who has fallen into the dark fruit. It's getting closer, and soon he will be able to get the dark fruit. Time to take it and escape from the Whitebeard pirates. Boom! The violent domineering arrogance burst out, and there was a loud noise between the sky and the earth, and the surrounding air seemed to be shaken by a huge force. Everyone was awakened by this terrifying pressure. The sea water was churning, and the ocean was violently shaken because of this. Countless waves soared into the sky, forming a tornado that reached the sky, surrounding the Moby Dick, like the end of the world. Tich, an angry, cold voice sounded under the terrifying domineering aura. Tiki stopped his movements, and his head was covered with dense cold sweat. Of course he wanted to continue attacking Sage and kill him to take the dark fruit, but under the terrifying overbearing arrogance of Whitebeard, his body was out of control at all. What the hell? It is obvious that the old man is already old and looks like this, but he still has such a terrifying domineering look. No, this level of domineering is even stronger than Dad when he was at his peak. I heard Dad's voice. Is something wrong? Why is Dad so angry? And this scene, it's just like 20 years ago. Dad mentioned Tiki's name. Did Tiki do something that made Dad angry? All the crew members came to their senses because of Whitebeard's voice, and the terrifying domineering look, hurriedly came from the cabin, and walked to the side of the old man. Following Dad's gaze, he saw Tiki holding a dagger with a hideous expression on his face, and in front of him was Sage holding a devil fruit. Tiki, you should remember the rules of the Whitebeard pirates. You can never hurt your brother. What did you want to do just now? Kill Sarge. Whitebeard stared at Tiki, exuding a terrifying aura that made everyone fear, and Tiki couldn't help shaking. Of course he knew what he was doing, and he also knew the price of violating the rules of the Whitebeard pirates, but everything was clearly developing for the better. The appearance of the dark fruit, who is about to get the dark fruit, will kill Sage to escape from the Whitebeard pirates and establish his own pirate group. Everything is so perfect, but why does Dad appear at this time? This is not reasonable. This is completely different from what he imagined. Tiki. You actually want to kill Sage? Do you know what you are doing? Unforgivable, but this kind of thing is absolutely unacceptable. Tiki. Ace, Marco and others looked at Tiki in disbelief. They never thought that Tiki, who had been drinking with them, would want to kill Sage. The others also glared at Tiki. You can do many things, but this alone is absolutely impossible. Tiki, who was glared at by everyone, was also extremely flustered at the moment. He wanted to say something and do something to reverse the current situation. At least he must not admit it, or else, let alone the dark fruit, he would definitely die. When Dad told me, I still didn't believe it. At this time, Sage, who was pointed at by Tiki, suddenly spoke, and looked at Tiki in disappointment. I can't imagine that someone I consider a relative, a brother, would want to kill me because of a devil fruit. But Tiki, you've let me down so much. It's just a devil fruit. If you ask me, will I still refuse? I am a swordsman myself, so it doesn't make much sense to me whether to eat a devil fruit or not. If you can maximize the value of this devil fruit, I will happily give it to you, but you actually want to kill me. In your heart, have you never considered me or us as brothers? It's just a devil fruit. It's just a mere devil fruit. Although what Sage said was sincere, but now Tiki is not in the mood to listen to him. He is only thinking about how to solve this situation. Escape. Must escape. Biting the tip of his tongue firmly, the severe pain brought his body back under control for a short time. Without any hesitation, he directly stabbed the dagger into Saatchi's abdomen, and then broke through the room with the dark fruit and jumped into the sea. Titch. End of this chapter. Chapter 67. Live streaming points rewards. Are aliens humans? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whitebeard roared, and wanted to chase Tiki, but thought of Saatchi's injury and looked over. Fortunately, he didn't stab the fatal part. Then, without waiting for other people to react, he hurriedly chased Tiki. Tiki, he. Ace opened his mouth, then closed it again. The facts are already in front of our eyes. Tiki really wanted to kill Sage for a devil fruit. If it wasn't for the appearance of his father, Tiki would probably have escaped by now. He and Tiki have a good relationship. After all, Tiki originally belonged to his team. He also thought that he knew Tiki very well, but now it seems that At this time, in the chat group, ordinary group leader, isn't it? Two people who are well prepared, and Tiki can do this? Ordinary group leader. It's okay for Dad to be soft-hearted. Why is Saatchi so careless? Ordinary group leader. Is there something wrong with Tiki's wine? Powerlessness or something? Ordinary group leader. That's not right. It doesn't look like it. It can't be that I really didn't react. Uchiha Dance King. Betrayal by a trusted person is like this. Even though Whitebeard has told Sarge, Sarge will not believe it until the end. Uchiha Dance King, perhaps, it's not that the body can't react, but the emotion makes him not want to resist. The worst elf, to some extent, it is indeed an extremely deep emotion, but it's a pity that Tiki never regards them as brothers. Boil Daegu into soup, Tichi can't really escape, can he? That the richest man in the lighthouse, looking at the situation, it's really possible. As expected, it's better to end Tiki sooner. Gold Flash, direct treatment is not advisable without substantive evidence. The richest man in the lighthouse, just like you, before there is no substantive evidence, whether it is Danzo or Sarutobi, you can't move, can you? The richest man in the lighthouse, shake your head. JPG. Son of nature, you can't escape. In the face of absolute strength, fleeing is useless. Son of nature, what's more, the current father is not the old and weak Whitebeard, but the one who is in the peak period. Just anger can cause the sea to shake and the air to shatter, the domineering aura can directly shock the black beard and make him unable to move. Whitebeard, son of nature, what's more, the power of the Jinjin fruit in the sea is not inferior to that on land, and even stronger. Be my son, Tichi, there's no escape, that the domineering Whitebeard locks Tiki's position, knowing that he has been sinking in the sea. It's useless like this, Tiki. Boom, Whitebeard's right hand was wrapped in a white halo, and it bombarded the sea surface without hesitation. Boom. Crack, under the berserk attack, the space in front of Whitebeard directly shattered, like a spider's web, a huge force penetrated the surface of the sea, and then the sea immediately surged up. The sea surface in front of Whitebeard's eyes sank directly, and the surrounding seawater could not even fill it up. Ha! Although most of the power of the shaking fruit poured into the sea, part of it fell on Blackbeard. Not everyone can bear the blow of Whitebeard in his heyday, even if it's just Yue. Even Tiki felt unbearable pain from his body. The body is everywhere, because of the power of the shaking fruit, blood is constantly flowing out, but even so, Tiki was still struggling to swim towards the deeper sea water. After bearing this blow, he didn't want to die even more, and he didn't even want to be caught by Whitebeard. Humph! Seeing this scene, Whitebeard let out a cold snort, and the shocking fruit surged again, and the terrifying power bombarded Tiki this time without any hindrance. Crack! Puff! Even Tiki couldn't bear this attack. He felt that all the bones in his body were shattered. He wanted to move, but his body stopped without any response. A large amount of blood flowed out of his body, and the surrounding water was dyed scarlet. The whole person also fainted powerlessly. Marco, bring him back. I don't need to remind you how to deal with it. Whitebeard took a deep breath and said to Marco, who was watching beside him. Father, I know. No one can violate the iron rules of the Whitebeard pirates. Tiki must die. Ding, it is detected that a member of the group, Be My Son, is the first to use the live broadcast function, and will be rewarded with points. As the Whitebeard live broadcast room closed, a sudden mechanical sound rang in the ears of the group members. Dry girl. Ganmumiai, there is still a reward for the first live broadcast. Why didn't you say it earlier? She, a person in this ordinary world who doesn't have any mysterious powers and doesn't have anything to recycle, can only accumulate points by signing in, and the first live broadcast actually rewards points. That's points. The kind that can be drawn 10 times in a lottery. Ordinary group leader. Ordinary group owner, I forgot. I only thought that it was possible to get points for changing my future, but I didn't expect to be the first to use the chat group's live broadcast function to also be able to get points. Ordinary group leader, it's just that I read too many novels in the previous life chat group, and my memory is too complicated. I even forgot the most important thing, son of nature. Son of nature, I just simply didn't expect it. Uchiha Dance King, points is nothing but nothing. Uchiha Dancer, Whitebeard at his peak, not bad. Although Whitebeard didn't show his full strength in this live broadcast, his domineering arrogance that could change the weather and overwhelm Tiki dare not move, and his control over the Jinjin fruit could make the sea tremble with just anger. It was enough for him to know how powerful Whitebeard was at his peak. It's really interesting. Although he is extremely confident in himself, he may not be able to defeat the current Whitebeard at his peak, but whether it is an opponent or not, you will only know after you have played boiled daegu into soup. Boiled daegu into soup, you can pretend, Mr. Madara. The richest man in the lighthouse, isn't this the nature of the Uchiha clan, whether it is Uchiha Madara or Urtsuzi, that the richest man in the lighthouse? I just don't know who is better between the father in his peak period and the father in his peak period. The richest man in the lighthouse, it's not right to say it's the peak, after all Master Ban has been the Lu Dao for a while, even though he was taken out. The richest man in the lighthouse, if Hokage does not have the level of Lu Dao, its combat power is not as good as that of pirates. Among other things, in terms of physical strength, Akiji and Akainu will fight directly for 7 days and 7 nights. Who can do Hokage except Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara? That's it. Meow. Does the tailed beast count? Meow, that the richest man in the lighthouse, I mean people. People. Do you know people? The glory of the northern gods. What about the aliens? Are they human? That the richest man in the lighthouse. Of course aliens are not considered human beings. Not counted. Ordinary group leader. What about the combination of aliens and native humans? That the richest man in the lighthouse. I probably know what you are going to say. The richest man in the lighthouse. Think I didn't say what I said before. End of this chapter. Chapter 68. There is no mental state that matches the strength, and it cannot be called a strong man. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Uchiha, Senju, and Uzumaki families are all descendants of the Sage of the Six Paths, and they are not considered purebred earthlings, but should I say it or not, apart from Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama, Naruto and Sasuke were able to do it, and it's hard to say anything else. Be my son, image.jpg. Be my son, does any of you need the dark fruit? Be my son, this kind of thing happened. Saatchi and the others didn't have the idea, so leave it to me to deal with. The dark fruit is indeed powerful, but because of Tiki's affairs, Sage handed over the dark fruit to Whitebeard. In any case, he will not eat this devil fruit, perhaps, in his heart, without the appearance of this devil fruit, Tiki and them would still be a family. Some things are really not so easy to give up. Ordinary group leader, I don't want it. The worst elf, let's give it to those who need it. Boiled daegu into soup, the dark fruit is not suitable for me. Uchiha Dance King, keep it for yourself. Child of nature, recycle. The richest man in the lighthouse, we didn't do anything, so what we want is nothing. That's it. Meow, that's it, meow. Ganwu miai, although I want it very much, it's really not good to get such a precious thing without a price. Gold Flash, exactly. They can accept some things, and accumulate this gratitude in their hearts, but such precious things as secretly fruit cannot be accepted at will. Be my son. Be my son, there's no need to do this. Maybe the secret fruit is very precious in your eyes, but for the Whitebeard pirates, no one can safely eat this kind of thing. Be my son, if you recycle, it's just some points. I have enough points now. Son of nature, in this case, why not keep this devil fruit first, and if anyone wants this devil fruit, he can trade it with Dad. Son of nature, we can accept small things with peace of mind, but the dark fruit is not ordinary. Ordinary group leader, that's right. Ordinary group leader, Daddy, let's keep it for future transactions. Whitebeard also smiled when he saw their news, and he felt a little bit disappointed because of Tiki's matter, and he also felt better. Since Ainen fruit was not sent out, Whitebeard simply sent a few bonus points in the chat group. This sparked much higher interest than devil fruit. After the Whitebeard incident was over, Bai Xuan basically started to repeat his life again. The country's god-making operation is considered a success. The strength shown by Huiyu and Qin Tian is indeed strong, which makes many people never expect that the country has cultivated such powerful talents. Naturally, Bai Xuan was also concerned by many people, but compared to Huiyu and the others, his influence was not that great. After all, in terms of perception, the effect he created was not as good as the three of Huiyu, but he didn't care about that either. Even if Huiyu hadn't asked him to talk about it, he wouldn't have known about it. There are also a series of activities in the latter countries, such as cleaning up fierce beasts, training, and so on, but they have nothing to do with him. The last time it was a whim. It's not like he has nothing to do now. In addition to the necessary exercise every day, he also began to read books after a long absence. It seems that he hasn't read much since his spiritual energy was revived and his ability was awakened. The last time he read it was the star-absorbing Dafa. Of course, what he reads are not very informative mathematics and physics books, but more books related to civilization and nature. He has also benefited a lot from this aspect and is deeply touched. Many books believe that the universe is cold and cruel, and there is no peaceful scientific research between civilizations. When most intelligent civilizations in the universe meet, their first thought is definitely not cooperation and peace. However, there are also some books that believe that the development of civilization should be stable and peaceful, and they should slowly progress and sublimate as time goes by in a quiet environment. Perhaps war is an important factor that promotes the development of civilization, but war is by no means an essential factor. Even, it should not exist in the development of civilization. Whether their ideas are right or wrong, Bai Xuan has no qualifications to judge. He just appreciates and thinks from these books. He had read a lot of books these days, and he didn't feel any changes in himself, but felt that something seemed different. But maybe, these are just his hallucinations. With the passage of time, his strength has improved more and more rapidly, but his mentality still stays at the time of ordinary people. This is not a good phenomenon. The evolution of life should not only be the improvement of strength and physique, but also the change of thinking. Without the state of mind and thinking that match the strength, it is definitely not a strong person. For more than a month after that, Bai Xuan circulated among training, reading, and chatting groups. He didn't pay much attention to the outside world, although he didn't feel it. His thinking did grow and change subtly during this period of precipitation. Knowledge is a wonderful thing, and so is time. The mentality after precipitation gave him a new view on nature and civilization. Natural authority also grew rapidly during this period of time, allowing Bai Xuan to clearly perceive that his control over nature is getting deeper and deeper. Pikachu. Pikachu. Pick up. The sudden sound caught Bai Xuan's attention, and two Pikachu appeared on his desk at some point, looking at him curiously. Go and play first, and I'll go find you when I finish watching. Bai Xuan smiled lightly and touched the heads of the two Pikachus. They squinted their eyes and enjoyed Bai Xuan's touch, then jumped off the table and went to play in the open space of the villa. He bought these two Pikachu from Meow Meow. Lalula's eggs are more precious and take some time, but Pikachu doesn't need them. For the three of Meow Meow, the precious one is not Pikachu but Xiaoju's Pikachu. Others, even divine beasts, are not taken seriously by them, although Lalula's is indeed cute. The first Pokemon that made him throb has always been Pikachu, hasn't it? Who can refuse such pure goodness? With them, the mood is involuntarily better. It was also because of the appearance of Pikachu that he remembered that natural authority should allow him to have the ability to listen to the voice of all things and communicate with all things. The fact is also true. After he had this idea, he gained the ability to communicate with all things. Pikachu is among them, unexpectedly. These two Pikachu also like to eat tomato sauce, so he asked someone to buy some tomato seeds and good quality tomato sauce, and also bought some seeds of other fruits. Anyway, he is here, so there is no need to worry about planting. Even after the seeds were sown, Bai Xuan accelerated their growth, and the results were completed without even the bee pollination process, and maybe it's because of Bai Xuan's spiritual energy. The quality is unimaginable. Anyway, Pikachu and they like it quite a lot. End of this chapter. Chapter 69. Bai Xuan's change, destined to become a god. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Day and night fall, the moonlight is like water, and the silvery moonlight is dotted with the dark sky. At this time, Hangzhou is already full of lights. Before the revival of spiritual energy, it should be difficult to see the star-studded night in the current sky. It is undoubtedly a pity for some people who love the starry sky, but it is nothing to the vast majority of people. They are not in the habit of watching the stars at night. Bai Xuan didn't have such a habit in the past, and this time it was just a whim. Lying quietly on the lawn of the villa, looking at the brilliant night sky, countless stars exuded soft light, and the whole night sky became dazzling because of the dots of stars. Pikachu. Beside him, two Pikachu were also lazily lying on the grass. squinting their eyes to enjoy the cool night breeze. Bai Xuan touched their heads and closed his eyes. After the spiritual energy recovered, it was clear that everyone else accelerated their pace of life, but Bai Xuan slowed down inexplicably. No, his life was considered fast before, but some changes have taken place these days. But this change is not bad for him. Bai Xuan's changes these days are obvious, at least Yu can clearly feel his changes when getting along with Bai Xuan. If the original Bai Xuan was just a relatively precocious boy, then now there is a feeling that cannot be explained. Some are like wise men, but in some ways they are different. As for whether this change is good or bad, Yu is not clear. She also has no way of knowing why Bai Xuan has such a change. She even wondered if this was the result of Bai Xuan's natural authority. After all, Bai Xuan's ability is too powerful, and it is not impossible to have some kind of defect. When you gain something, you will inevitably lose something. Maybe because of the influence of this ability, Bai Xuan lost something. Why are you looking at me like that? Bai Xuan looked at Yu, and asked a little strangely. It just feels like you've changed a lot recently. Yu said directly. But if you say that something has changed in you, you can't tell. Is this a side effect of your ability? Not really. Bai Xuan shook his head and said calmly. Maybe it's just because I've read more books recently. It's not just a book, maybe there really is an element of natural authority in it. It was okay at the beginning, his mentality hadn't changed much from before the spiritual energy recovered, but as his strength increased, especially after he didn't have a mind that matched his strength enough, he felt an inexplicable difference from the past. This difference is not only a gap in strength, but also a gap in various levels, attitudes towards man, towards living things, towards civilization, towards nature. He is human, there is no doubt about that. He has always been thinking about problems from a human point of view. It was the same when joining the Spiritual Chi Bureau, and the same was true for hunting mutant creatures, but it was this kind of thinking that made him feel that something was wrong. It seems that there is a kind of consciousness in the dark reminding him that he should not think about the problem like this. He deserves a new perspective, God's angle. Nature embraces all things, and it contains not only human beings, but also various plants, animals, and various elements. All congenital or acquired items are also part of nature. He is the person in charge of natural authority, and in the future he is destined to think about problems as the Lord of nature. Although God has his own personality, he should have his own judgment on the direction of civilization and nature, and use his own way to guide civilization and nature to a new path. There must be a reason for what God does, even if the reason is because I want to do it. Now I need time, and time will tell me the answer. Time is a wonderful thing. Many questions you think about and the meaning of life will give you answers as time goes by. He is aware of his current flaws, and he doesn't have the thinking to match his strength. Pluto in the Super Beast armament, Aizen in the Death God world, and Holy Kaisa in the Xiongbing Company all have psychology and thinking that match their own strength. They know what they want to do and how to do it, but he didn't know. He needs to grow up, needs a brand new self, God. Absolutely not just a title given because of strength. They walk in the long river of time and are the witnesses of civilization. They are ethereal, but they are everywhere. He didn't know when he had the idea that he would become a god. It was the moment when the chat group told him that when he thought about the problem from the perspective of God, it was the moment when natural authority merged with him, or the different world I saw in my dream at that time, the vast and ancient land. The green and solemn forest full of vitality, the majestic mountain peaks that go straight into the sea of clouds, sky, sea of clouds, forest, mountains, sea, stream. It's not that he wants to become a god, but that he is destined to become a god after obtaining natural authority. The recovery of spiritual energy gives us the ability to become extraordinary, and the change in the level of life gives us the idea of pursuing the highest. Strong strength will make us confident, arrogant and even conceited. But because of our own philosophy, we know that arrogance and conceit will become obstacles to our progress, so we start to fight against them again to avoid bad consequences due to changes in our mentality. Over time, our thinking will change, and the angle of seeing things will no longer be the same as in the past. Madman, saint, god, devil. Yu looked at Bai Xuan, who didn't know what he was talking about, with a dazed expression. Why do you suddenly start talking to yourself while chatting? And speak so advancedly. Does strength make people conceited and proud? With you on the earth, who can be proud? As for the change in thinking, shouldn't this be the same as it used to be? There are people above to take the lead, and those below them only need to follow and deal with the rest. What can be changed? But inexplicably, Bai Xuan's changes made her feel terrible, and she always felt that Bai Xuan seemed to be evolving towards a level that she couldn't understand, and crazy, saint, God, devil. These four should be completely different things. Why would Bai Xuan think they are the same existence? The future Bai Xuan will not develop in this direction, will he? Or is it already started? If Bai Xuan is so powerful, will he fall into this situation? Shaking his head, Bai Xuan recovered from his thoughts. End of this chapter. Chapter 70 Creatures from Another World, the Pluto and the Super Beast Armed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Huiyu, who was confused beside him, he smiled and said, "You just think I'm talking nonsense, don't take these things to heart." "Oh fine." Huiyu nodded when he heard Bai Xuan's words, and put the prepared pills on Bai Xuan's table, as well as some processed mutated beast meat, and said excitedly, "You don't need to look at these pills, they are the same as before. But this meat is different. It is the meat of a mutated sea snake that we discovered by accident. It was very strong in life. If Qin Tian hadn't made the move, others might not be able to take it. If we don't catch it, maybe it will evolve into a flood dragon in the future. Its meat is much tastier than the meat of ordinary mutant beasts, and it's very sweet." As he said that, Huiyu showed a regretful expression. "Although it has mutated and its size is quite large, there are too many people who need to be assigned, and we can get very little. Only my piece is not as big as a third of yours." Although she was a little depressed, Huiyu didn't really care much about it. "A lot of her previous beast meat was given by Bai Xuan, it's just that I eat less. There are no mutant sea snakes and other things, mutated carp, mutated crabs, and even mutated scallops are all delicious." Before Bai Xuan could speak, Huiyu heard two strange voices. "Pikachu. Pikachu." In Huiyu's wide-eyed eyes, two yellow creatures with two brown stripes on their backs and tails like jagged lightning that looked like mice and chinchillas jumped onto the table and looked curiously. The elixir and the meat of the mutated beast on the table. First he sniffed the pills, then showed a disgusted expression, then turned his head and smelled the meat of the mutated sea snake. "Pikachu, greater than over equal to less than over equal to." Visible to the naked eye reveals the look of liking. The prototype of Pikachu is a squirrel. I always thought it was a mouse, and squirrels are omnivorous animals, and occasionally eat meat, but generally eat nuts. The same is true for Pikachu. In addition to tomato sauce, they also like to eat sweet and sour things, and sometimes they even have 2 pieces of sweet and sour pork ribs. The raw material of the sweet and sour pork ribs is also a mutated wild boar, so the taste is also very good. Of course, under normal circumstances, they are mainly based on the energy cubes he bought from Meow Meow. It seems that the meat of the mutated sea snakes is quite in line with their preferences. This is. Huiyu suppressed the urge in her heart to hug and rub these two cuties, and looked at Bai Xuan curiously. "Pikachu, a creature from another world." After smelling the meat of the mutated sea snake, one of the two Pikachu jumped into Bai Xuan's arms, and the other jumped onto his shoulder to rub his cheek. Huiyu explained with a smile. "Creatures from another world." Huiyu looked at Bai Xuan strangely. "Are you sure you are serious? Even if Bai Xuan's abilities are terrifying, even outrageously terrifying, but the creature from another world, are you sure you're not joking? Don't you think it's strange? Their painting style." Pikachu is something in the Pokemon world. It is a creature belonging to two-dimensional, and its painting style is naturally completely different from the three-dimensional. Logically speaking, the defect chat group in the dimension should be erased, but the painting style of the two Pikachu sent by Meow Meow did not change to three-dimensional, and Bai Xuan also asked the chat group why. The chat group replied that the three-dimensional Pikachu is not as cute as the two-dimensional Pikachu. If Bai Xuan needs it, it can also help transform. Obviously, Bai Xuan rejected the transformation of the system. The two-dimensional Pikachu is very good. Anyway, he doesn't need to hide the existence of Pikachu. If you say that, it is true, but Huiyu tilted his head and looked at Pikachu. This style of painting seems to be a bit wrong, a bit like a creature in anime. Your ability is really effective for manga and anime. Isn't that Susanoo last time fake? Suddenly understanding something, she looked at Bai Xuan in disbelief, and what she said nonsense last time turned out to be true. Bai Xuan's ability can even do this kind of thing. It's too exaggerated. This is absolutely exaggerated. Can superpowers really do this kind of thing? Impossible. Pikachu is real, and so is Susanoo. But their appearance is not the result of my abilities, but the creation of another great being. Accidentally, I had the opportunity to communicate with people from other worlds. The kaleidoscope Sharingan is an unexpected result. Pikachu entrusted him to buy it. Bai Xuan didn't hide anything, even the existence of the chat group. It's just because the chat group itself didn't describe it more accurately. If it was in the past, he would definitely not have done such a thing. No matter what strength he has, how much confidence he has in his own strength, he will not disclose the existence of the chat group, and it is impossible to disclose in any way. But now, with the change of mentality, he no longer bothers to lie. In the short time of human beings, various personalities have filled their lives: honesty, lies, trust, falsehood, justice, evil. Even the contradictory characters of justice and evil coexist in human beings inconceivably. It was the same with Bai Xuan in the past, but now, when his power has grown stronger and his thinking has changed, he has begun to dislike lies, and even disdain to tell lies. This is true whether it is a white lie or a malicious lie. Even if these things are told to Huiyu, what if Huiyu will disclose them to the country? So what if they know? It doesn't make any sense, whether it should be how or what. It's just that the attitude towards Bai Xuan will become better and more respectful. The change in Bai Xuan's body, Huiyu may not know what it is, but those people in the country can easily become aware of it. They can know that Bai Xuan's thinking is surpassing human beings, transforming into the existence called God. For such people, it is impossible to restrain and control them through some ideas and reasons. Of course, they did not do this at the beginning. Isn't the world of Naruto real? Where's Pirate World? Where's the Super Beast armament? Regarding Huiyu's surprise, Bai Xuan naturally said very easily. The Naruto world communicates with Uchiha Madara and Namake's Minato, and the Pirate World is Whitebeard, one of the 4 emperors. Super Beast armament has not yet entered. It may be possible in the future. If possible, he really hoped that the next person to join the group would be Pluto in the Super Beast arm. If he could communicate with Pluto, it would be of great benefit to him who is currently confused. End of this chapter.